our subject will be the business finance, and today we will be discussing the introduction to business finance. And in this lesson, we should be able to explain the major role of financial management and the different individuals involved, enumerate the various functions of the financial manager, compare and contrast the basic types of financial instruments, distinguish a financial institution from financial market, classify institution as banking and non-banking financial institution, and enumerate and distinguish the different types of financial institution and financial market. Now, how do you apply finance in everyday life? If you're not aware, guys, you are already applying this concept of finance in your everyday life. So nung palang nag-aaral tayo face-to-face pa lang, we are already applying finance. How? Siyempre, in the first place, before kayo pumasok, siyempre bibigyan kayo ng baon ng mga parents niyo, di ba? So, let's say ang baon niyo is 100 pesos. So, yung 100 pesos na yon, kailangan yung pagkasyahin sa isang araw. So, meron na tayong methods, para meron na tayong tinatawag na budgeting. So, ano nga ba yung ginagastos niyo sa araw-araw? So, let's say, kung nagtatranspo kayo or kung nagbabiyahe kayo, so you have transportation expense. Kung nag-lunch kayo, syempre, you need to buy your lunch. And kung may mga kailangan sa school, you need to buy them also. So those will be your expenses. And then, after expenses, magkano pa kaya ang natitirang baon nyo after gastusin lahat or bilhin lahat ang mga kailangan sa school? Or kung wala nang natira, saan pa kaya kayo kumukuha ng pera for you to be able to have more baon? So those concept, guys, is already under financing. So again, if you're not aware, you are already doing finance nung face-to-face or nung nag-aaral pa tayo noong face-to-face. So, finance is the art and science that describe the management, creation, and study of money, banking, credit, investment, asset, and liabilities. So, finance is needed in the business because financing decisions often involve large financial amounts that are very significant to the business, and once made, such decision cannot be easily reversed. So, financial management decision function includes areas such as investment, financing, and asset management decision. So in short, finance can be defined as the science and art of managing money. So like what I've said, yung baon nyo, minamanage nyo yun araw-araw sa mga daily expenses nyo. And yung mga tatitira dyan, pwede nyo i-save, di ba? So in relation with finance, so kapag binigyan kayo ng baon, sa business, that's we call investment. Kapag gumagastos kayo ng lunch, transportation, in business, that's what we call operating or administrative expenses. And kapag may natitira kayo sa baon nyo, in business, that's what we call income or profit. And then, kung wala kayong natira and then you need more money para makapasok sa school, of course, so in business, we call that additional investment. All right. So what will be the objectives of financial management? So we have two objectives here, which will be the profit maximization and the wealth maximization. So the profit maximization is concerned about the profit of the business. So the main aim of any kind of economic activity is to earn profit. This is very true. So when we say profit, we usually refer to the financial benefit that is realized when the amount of revenue gained from service activity exceeds the expenses, costs, and taxes needed to sustain the activity. So when we say profit maximization, guys, we are maximizing our profits sa ating business. So every businesses naman, their main goal is to earn profit. That's why we have the term profit maximization for every economic activity. Now, how about the wealth maximization? Paano naman si wealth maximization? So si wealth maximization, guys, is a modern concept which deals with increase of the value of the business in order to increase the shareholders or the owners. So paano ba to? So a good example of this one is yung mga franchise natin like Jollibee or McDo. So paano nga ba siya na-apply as wealth maximization? So syempre ang pinaka-owner niyan, binebenta niya yung franchise ng McDo. So, it simply means na yung mismong business is may value na siya. So, dahil may value na yung business natin, it can be sold or it can be, we can sold the franchise na. So, that's how wealth maximization applies in business. So, yung mismong business natin is may value na. So, profit maximization, we are only concerned with the profit of the company or of our business. Now, let's move on to the key individuals in business finance. So we have 3 individuals in business finance, which will be the financial manager, the controller, and the treasurer. So the financial manager, he is in charge of the overall finance functions of a business. He develops strategies and plans to achieve the financial goal of the organization. So in large companies, this position is usually termed as chief financial officer. So basically, guys, si financial manager, siya lahat ang mahawak ng financial function ng ating business. So meron tayong tinatawag ng controller and treasurer na nagre-report kay financial manager. So ano nga bang trabaho ni controller? So he's the one responsible for managing the accounting staff that provides managerial accounting information used for internal decision-making, financial accounting information for external reporting purposes, and tax accounting information to meet the tax filing requirements. So the controller is usually the head of accountant of the company na nagre-report din kay financial manager. Na yung reports niya, the financial manager would use that for strategies and plans to achieve the financial goals of the organization. And then, same as the treasurer, his primary duties includes asset safekeeping and cash management. So he's responsible for obtaining investment capital as well as obtaining loans and credits from the outside sources. So basically, treasurer, guys, if the company is may pautang, let's say may pautang. So the treasurer is the one who's gonna be collecting those loans na obtained by the debtors. And those should be reported as well kay financial manager. So basically, these two needs to report kay financial manager. All right. So we have functions of financial manager. So we have the forecasting financial requirements. So the financial manager is responsible to estimate the financial requirements of the business. He is the one who should estimate how much resources are required to be acquired fixed asset and forecast the amount needed in order to have continuous business operation. So the financial manager, hindi siya pwede mag-invest ng business or hindi siya pwede mag-acquire ng asset as kung hindi siya na-forecast or kung hindi mo na siya na-estimate. So syempre, ikaw ba as an individual, kung meron kang bibilin na something, are you going to buy it already? Isn't it not? So una parang magtatanong ko muna, maganda ba to? Ayos ba to? Before you buy those kind of things, diba? Just like the financial manager, so meron muna siyang forecasting and meron muna siyang estimation na ginagawa before we can acquire those fixed assets or those resources that needed by the company. And then we also have the functions as acquiring necessary capital. So the financial manager are also in charge in the acquisition of the necessary capital to be used in the business. So he should concentrate on how, where, and when to obtain the business, where to obtain the finances. So basically, before the manager or before the financial manager can acquire necessary capital, guys, so he need to make sure first, or he need to see first if how, kung paano gagamitin, kung saan gagamitin, at kung kailan gagamitin. Hindi naman basta-basta mag-acquire ng capital yan, guys, if hindi alam kung paano, saan, at kailan gagamitin. And then, another function is that they also have the investment decision. So when we are investing, guys, as a financial manager, we always look at the safety, liquidity, and profitability of the business. So we are not investing into a business if the business is not safe, or kung hindi siya parang kung delikado. And hindi tayo magbe-business kung hindi siya liquid. When we say liquid, hindi natin na-meet yung mga long-term obligations natin. Hindi natin nasisettle yung mga long-term obligations natin. When we say obligation, those are the financial liabilities natin. And the reason also why we are investing into a business is for us to make profit. So as a decision maker, or as an investment decision maker, so we should consider those three: the safety, the liquidity, and the profitability of the business. Then we have the cash management. So the financial manager must see to it that the entity has enough cash for its business operation, as well as for the payment of debts or liabilities. So this is very true, no? Kasi when we are investing, guys, so of course we already needed cash to invest. And also, cash is needed for us to be able to pay for our liabilities. So that's why a financial manager should have a cash management for them to be able to pay liabilities, as well as to invest more if they can pa. And then interrelation with other departments. So the finance manager must maintain a good relationship with all the functional departments of the business organization. He should have sound knowledge not only in finance related area but also in other areas as well. So the finance manager dapat alam din niya yung operations ng ibang departments. So let's say, for example, that department needed financing, needed to be financed. So the financial manager should supply the needs of that department then. That's why he also needed to know what's happening on those departments, especially in finance, or especially in finance needs. All right. So let's go with the financial instruments. So financial instrument, we have the stocks. So I know you are familiar with the Philippine Stock Exchange, correct? So si Philippine Stock Exchange, guys, meron siyang mga list of companies that sell stocks. So when you buy stocks to those companies, guys, you are already considered as an owner in that company. So tinatawag ka na nung shareholder. So the more stocks that you buy, the higher ownership you will have. So meron tayong dalawang uri ng stocks, which will be the common stocks and preferred stock. That will be discussed once we go along to the module. And then we also have the bonds. So a bond is a debt security in which an investor lends his money to an entity which borrows the funds for a defined period of time at defined interest rates. So bonds are usually issued by companies, municipalities, states, and sovereign government to raise money and finance their economic activities. So ano nga ba si bonds? Si bonds is simply a loan. Pero ang mga investor ang nagpapahiram sa atin ng pera for us to be able um, to invest on our company. So paano nga ba nangyayari si bonds? Let's say nanghiram ka ng 1 million pesos sa company na yon or sa investor na yon. So magsiset siya ng time kung ilang beses mo siya hulugan. Let's say 10 years. And then sa 10 years, sa loob ng 10 years, ilang percent ang makukuha niya as interest rate. Let's say 10% every year. So nagbabayad ka nun sa company ng 1 mil, hindi 1 million, 1 year. Eh. So let's compute. So let's say, meron ka daw 1 million ang hiniram mo sa company na yon. And then, babayaran mo siya into 12 months. So, tapos meron daw 10% interest. So, magbabayad ka ng around 92,000 monthly, including the interest na. So that's how bonds work. It is just simply a loan, pero tinerm siya as bonds kasi this is investors to entity siya. Then we'll be discussing bonds I believe there's a separate discussion sa bonds natin kapag nag-go along na tayo sa modules natin. So anyway, let's move on to the notes. So the notes naman is a debt security obligating repayment of a loan with corresponding interest within a defined period of time. So notes are being issued by a borrower to signify its indebtedness. A note is the financial liability of the debtor reflected as notes payable, and a financial asset of creditor reflected as notes receivable. So sa notes naman, this is just a note, a promissory note. I know you are familiar with promissory note na you are promising to pay your utang or your debt for several months. So syempre sasabihin mo din sa notes mo kung ilang months mo siyang babayaran, and sasabihin mo din dun sa notes mo kung ilang percent mo siya babayaran. Now we also have financial market. So a financial market is where stocks, bonds, and other financial securities can be purchased or sold. Funds are transferred in financial markets when one party purchases financial assets previously held by another party. So financial markets facilitates the flow of funds and thereby allow financing and investing by household firms and government agencies. So we have the foreign exchange market. So in the country, the foreign exchange market is where participants can be able to buy, sell, exchange, and speculate on currencies. So the BSP maintains a floating exchange rate system. So paano nga ba nangyayari sa foreign exchange market? So when we say foreign exchange market, guys, we are referring to the foreign currencies natin. So how much will be the exchanging rate of each currencies natin? So let's say we have a dollar. We have dollar exchange rate tayo. So we need to check with the floating exchange rate system if how much will be the palitan for today. So let's say we have $1 million, and then magkano ba ang palitan? Para 50 ang palitan. So we can earn 50 million pesos as converted into peso. So foreign exchange rate kasi meron naman, nagbibigay naman si BSP ng mga list of exchanges every day if magkano ba yung amount na papalitan each and every currencies. So ganun si foreign exchange rate. It is depending on the currency and depending on the palitan ng currencies natin. And then we have the fixed income exchange market. So when we say fixed income exchange or the fixed income securities, so meron kang when we say fixed income, guys, it simply means na fix ang income mo. So hindi magbabago ang kinikita mo. So fixed income exchange is the country's first centralized electronic infrastructure for trading or fixed income securities. So the FIE is a comprehensive financial market infrastructure that aims to provide an electronic platforms for trading, clearing, and settlement, and the custodian and the depository and custodian fixed income securities and its derivatives. So when we say fixed income securities, these are investments that provide returns in the form of fixed periodic payment, and the eventual return of principal at maturity. So this may include treasury bonds and certificate deposit. So ano nga ba yung mga examples ng fixed income securities natin? So a good example of fixed income securities, guys, is the time deposit. So yung time deposit natin, this will be registered through the BSP, which is one of our financial market, which is a good example of fixed income market. Bakit kaya a good example siya? Kasi nga fix yung income na na-generate ni time deposit once we have deposited those funds through them. So hindi nagbabago. So yun, kung ano yung sinabing amount sa'yo, every year or every month, kung kumikita siya every month, fixed pa rin ang kita niya. And we also have the bonds. So sa bonds then, let's say for example, you as an investor lends money to an entity. So yung babayaran sa iyo ng utang sa iyo is fixed din siya. So every month or every year na babayaran ka, fixed din siya. That's why it called fixed income securities. And then we also have the money market funds. So the money market funds are deposited in the bank. So fixed income din ang mga to. So those are examples of fixed income securities under fixed income market. So we have the time deposit, the bonds, as well as the money market deposits. So we will discuss them as we go along to the lesson ng ating BFIN. Siguro nasa modules din naman ng mga to. So these are just parang introductions. And then we have the stock market or the Philippine Stock Exchange. So sa Philippine Stock Exchange naman, guys, sabi ko nga, meron siyang list of companies na nagbebenta ng stocks. So if you wanted to buy some stocks, you can also do so. So let's say for example, I will show you a list of ayan. Ito pa lang. So I will show you the companies that sell stocks. So let's say mga to. Let's say si ABS-CBN ito. Si ABS-CBN, nagbebenta siya ng stocks niya, 12 pesos per stock siya. So kung bibili ka ng 100 stocks, that's gonna be 1,200 pesos, around that amount. So dito makikita niyo lahat yung mga stocks. So pinakamahal as of now is si Ayala yata. Yeah. So if you wanted to invest sa Philippine stock market, guys, you can also do so. Kasi maganda naman din ang opportunity sa stock markets. So we have financial intermediaries. So the financial intermediaries are the middleman, act as the middleman between two parties. So two parties in a financial transaction. So financial intermediaries are businesses which move money from the individual to markets. With this statement, we can say that those who are borrowing financial intermediaries are said to be engaged in indirect financing. So financial institutions are considered as the financial intermediaries. So ano kayong mga financial institution natin? So meron tayong tinatawag na banking institution and non-banking institution. So yung mga banking institution natin will be the commercial banks. So commercial banks also can help you finance your business. So you can make a loans to them. And we also have the investment bank. So yung investment bank naman, they are focus more on investment. So parang sila yung, if you wanted to invest, let's say you wanted to buy a land sa isang let's say real estate. So hindi ikaw ang makikipag-usap sa owner ng land na yun kung this investment bank. Kumbaga, this investment bank is magiging mo siyang agent for you to be able to invest to that investment or to that venture. So ganun ang role ni investment bank. So she will serve as or acting as a client's agent, sabi. And then we also have the non-banking financial institution, which will be the credit unions, savings and loans association, as well as the insurance companies. So sa mga credit unions, these are the co-op sa mga company. So you can pwede ka namang magpa-member sa kanila, and you can also borrow money from them, as well as you can deposit money from them. Pero hindi ito mga banking parang ito is member-owned lang ang mga to. Kumbaga parang sa isang company, gumagawa sila parang cooperatives for the members to help na din in their financial needs. And then we also have the Savings and Loans Association. So we have a lot of savings and loans associations. Ito yung mga loans, sila? Loans para nagpapahiram sila ng mga pera for you to be able to finance your business as well. So hindi sila parang bangko, pero they have the same financial institution will specialize in savings type of deposit, mortgage, and other loans. They provide dividends to their depositors. Today, Savings Loan and Loan Association offers most of the services commercial banks do. So parang meron silang pagkakatulad sa services nila. Pero dito, more on loans lang sila. So examples are the Farmers Savings and Loans Association, Teacher Savings and Loan Association, pero mga Liberty Loan, ganyan. So you can also borrow money from them for you to be able to finance your business. Kaso, ang pagkakaiba lang, yung interest charge nila is much higher than the bank. And then yung insurance companies naman, these are corporate entities that insure people against loss. So the client pays a fee known as a premium in exchange for the promise of the company to protect the client financially in the event of certain potential misfortune. So the common types of insurance includes health, life, and property insurances. So let's say for example, ang business mo or out of nowhere biglang nagkasunugan, nasunog yung business mo, pero na-insured na-insured mo siya. So the insurance then will cover all of the expenses para makabawi ulit yung business mo. So it is also parang good thing na insured si company for you to be able to use your insurance as well to help you build back your company or your business.